you need to align the criteria of the people that is working on this phase, how to detect the appropriate styles and sales enablement capabilities that you expect from your people that are coming in, the assessment that you want to do in terms of behavior, in terms of competences and so on, the methodology that you will use, and the technology that you will use for sure in order to accelerate the process. So let's go deep into the process. So I think the first activity is to align the criteria. So independently who is performing the task, you are selecting the same style and the same skill set in terms of the people that you're expecting in your company. So definitely that's key. The second one is you need that your sales force are enabled to do it. So the personality, it is key. The style is key. So you need to align those and what are you expecting, and be sure that the group that is evaluating the process are absolutely sure how to address that. Then the assessment is key, and there is several different activities that is suggested. The first one is behavior, how every single of the new possible team members are behaving during the assessment. Two is all the scenarios that you want to put these candidates to evaluate how they behave under the different circumstances. Three, you need to understand the competences that you need, depends on your sales method, one-on-one, groups, presentations, parties, and so on. So it will depend on your core process in the company to evaluate properly this process. Then the aptitude is key. So depends on the problems that you're facing during the evaluation, depends on the different key questions that you're addressing. You want to understand how the aptitude evolves, and definitely create a problem-solving scenario so you really know that this new possible team member knows how to deal with that. Methodology is another key asset. There is behavioral event interviewing, which is a very known method in this. There is also competencies, different ways to approach that. Depends on the point, and definitely IT can help you. So to perform the assessment, to record, of course, the evaluation itself. There is a good AI tools that is working for this environment, which is Ideal and XOR. Please take a look at two of them that help you to engage better into this process. And always take in mind that gamification is key. So had to add the appropriate context into the process, maybe with examples, maybe to playing a role-based process, or definitely going back to the problem solving. That's the most interesting piece and the most lovely piece. There is a very unique scenario, something very weird, but I think that it's a good example of what happens in your company. Could be a better way to approach that, because people can be more, I think, ingenuitive. They can be more creative into the conversation. So for sure that can help. Hopefully these key elements can help you. And I think a good story around this in S4DS have been embracing this almost forever. And there are two approaches. Is that the type of companies that only enroll everybody, is anyone that can have the appropriate documentation, appropriate everything can enroll into the company. And there is another groups that's prefer you can propose yourself into a process and the company will evaluate following these steps the process later. And we have a very nice summary report. You can go to an online meeting or, that you prepare yourself before, like an online training process. So that's pretty much is research. Look for the candidate fulfill a form. With all these forms, you assign the appropriate schedule. With the appropriate schedule, you send them a few documentation that they need to read and prepare themselves before they arrive to the meeting. They arrive to the meeting and you follow the assessment, which is nicer for sure.